Welcome back, listeners, to A Literary Cornucopia. I'm your host, Luisa Morales, and today we're celebrating one of the most nostalgic seasons of the year, summer, and the memories it brings. We're at the end of June, so tell me, are you enjoying your summer yet? Summer certainly has its advantages. In the Northern Hemisphere, days are longer and filled with sunshine. Here in the Caribbean, the difference isn't quite as dramatic, but you can definitely feel those long, bright days. Living on an island surrounded by the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean means there's never a shortage of things to do. Whether you enjoy boating, kayaking, paddleboarding, water skiing, or simply cooling off in a pool, summer offers something for everyone. Now, I'm not exactly a beach person. I enjoy looking at the ocean far more than swimming in it. Give me a beach house, a comfortable chair, a beautiful sunset, and a good book, and I'm perfectly happy. Speaking of books, while searching for something that captured the spirit of summer, I stumbled across a delightful little story by Nastran Anderson titled A Summertime Short Story. At first, it seems like a simple tale of something trapped inside a jar, but I'll let you discover the surprise ending for yourself. The early evening sky gleamed, a uniform silvery blue with flat gray clouds hanging in painted forms like a child's drawing. The summer sun had not yet set, leaving enough light to see my friends as they sped ahead of me across the lawn, the world draining of color in the disappearing light. It was hot, deep south hot. The humid air draped us like a heavy curtain, thick and damp, with the anticipation of a midnight storm. The nighttime creatures were starting a chorus, crickets and tree frogs chirping their summer melody. The smell of freshly cut grass dusted the air. There was laughter ahead. I watched as my friends played tag, darting in a zigzag pattern on their way to the creek. I picked up my pace and tried to catch up with the group. It was much darker now, the sun settling below the painted clouds for the night. I could no longer see my friends clearly, save the occasional glimpse of their lights. I'd fallen too far behind and found myself alone as the wide open lawn narrowed towards a wooded path. I made my way down the gently sloped hill towards the creek. The air was slightly cooler under the canopy of trees, and a faint breeze rustled the leaves above. The frogs were much louder, screeching to each other from their vertical homes. The leaves behind me on the path crunched. Instinctively, I spun around and jumped to the left. I chuckled in relief as the white streaked tail of a deer flashed and then vanished into the woods. I continued on until the path intersected with another. I knew both left and right bearings ended at the creek, but we had not planned which direction we would explore tonight. I paused, listening carefully for my friends, feeling uneasy in the dark, alone, and accompanied only by my light. I turned it on, pointing towards the direction I thought they had chosen. I traveled along, shining my light occasionally to keep to the path. I heard a loud rustling in the leaves, but this time decided to ignore it. I pressed forward, quickening my pace to reach my group. All at once, the air felt warmer, and the breeze absent. I paused again. Something felt wrong. The frogs and crickets went silent, and the forest became eerily still. I turned to reverse my course and smacked my head against something hard and cold, the impact knocking me to my feet. I awoke with a start. It was difficult to breathe, and the summer heat was now stifling. I could hear a few sounds, but they were muted, as though I were underwater. I was no longer in the darkness. A light as bright as the sun shone directly into my face, then switched off abruptly, leaving me momentarily blinded. I tried to propel myself forward and smacked into a wall. My fear rising, I moved in the other direction as my vision began to return, only to hit another wall. I tried again, walking slowly this time, meeting each wall of my invisible cage. The lack of air strangled any noise I tried to make, and my panic intensified. Without warning, the bright light shone again, and I crawled to one corner as a harsh sawing began overhead. I couldn't see the source of the noise, the grinding reverberating in my limbs, shaking my entire body. And then, just as suddenly, the sound ceased. Cool air rushed in above my head, and slowly my body relaxed as I filled my lungs. The bright light turned off, and once more my eyes tried to adjust. It was dark again. I still had my light and turned it on. Instantly came a child's squeal of happy laughter, muffled from behind my cell walls. I turned off my light to try to see. There was only darkness and the hole above seeping sweet, fresh air. I turned on my light, and then came the laughter. I pressed my face against one wall and was met with two large brown eyes staring back at me, the source of the delight. Dumbfounded, I came to realize my situation. I had been warned when I was young, but never did I think this could happen to me. I had listened to the stories from those who survived and remembered the sage advice. Keep your light going and pray they set you free. So I did. I shined my light again and again for that round, cherubic face, and sure enough, he eventually lifted the top of my invisible cage. I was overwhelmed with relief, launching my wings in triumphant flight as I made my escape, flashing one last wink at the small board before I found my way back to the safety of the deep woods, relishing in my freedom, no longer a firefly captured. So, what did you think? Did the ending catch you by surprise? That story reminded me of something one of my listeners shared. My sister Awilda remembers one of the true signs of summer fireflies, also known as lightning bugs. She loved watching those tiny bioluminescent beetles lighting up warm June and July evenings, especially in places with little light pollution. Like many children, she and her friends occasionally caught them in glass jars so they could admire their gentle flashes for a little while. Doesn't that bring us right back to the story? My other sister's favorite summer memory came with a bit more excitement than she expected. While camping with a friend, Tim and his grandchildren, a tree fell and one of its branches blocked the camper door, leaving her temporarily trapped inside. Now that's a camping trip Judy won't soon forget. My cousin Josie remembers family beach days with great affection. She and her cousins couldn't wait to jump into the water, even if it meant ending the day with painful sunburns. Her mother had a running joke. Where are you going? To the beach. And where are you coming from? Then, pretending to cry dramatically, she'd answer for them. From the beach. Josie still laughs and rolls her eyes whenever she remembers it. My former student, Salvadora, looks forward to summer after months of routine. For her, it's the perfect time to recharge by exploring Puerto Rico with her family. Whether it's visiting different towns, staying at hotels, relaxing by the pool, bowling, working out, enjoying local restaurants, or catching a good movie, summer offers a welcome change of pace that almost makes those scorching temperatures worthwhile. My granddaughter Cristal and her family take a different approach. They spend much of the hottest part of the day indoors, but they still enjoy stepping outside to soak up a little sunshine or cool off in the pool. She says the water is warm enough to be comfortable, yet refreshing on those especially hot afternoons. Even the family pets have their own personalities. Some happily splash around while others seem perfectly content stretching out in the sun for a nice tan. For my friend Efrain, who's a flight attendant, summer is one of the busiest times of the year. Between the intense heat and with surge in travelers, his work schedule becomes especially demanding. Ironically, after spending so much time in airports, the last thing he wants to do on vacation is visit another one. While most people are planning trips, he's usually looking for ways to avoid the crowds. I have to admit, I can understand that. As for me, summer has always been my season for slowing down, catching up on my reading, and simply relaxing. Growing up in the Chicago area, many of my summer memories revolve around trips to Lake Michigan. Everyone else seemed eager to dive in, but I could never get over how unbelievably cold that water was. I'd cautiously dip in my toes, quickly retreat to my beach towel, and lose myself in a good book instead. So now I'd love to hear from you. What are your favorite summertime memories? Do you spend your days at the beach, by the pool, traveling, camping, or perhaps curled up with a good book? Whatever summer looks like for you, I hope it's filled with moments worth remembering. Well, that's a wrap for this episode on summertime memories. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any recommendations for future episodes, use the podcast app or write an email address to literarycornucopia@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the Literary Cornucopia podcast channel on YouTube, where I publish updates of upcoming episodes. This is your host, Lisa Morales, wishing you as always happy reading, listening, and writing.